All right. Welcome to You Just Got Your Real Estate License. Time to get organized. And so we're going to go through this thing. And again, it is really just to start thinking about some of the things, some of the models, some of the systems, some of the tools that we may be missing inside of our current business plan. Right. And so this isn't meant to be an exhausting list. This is really to go through and find one or two things, right? Like you don't rush out and grab all this and go run with it. Feel free to take screen grabs and do what you want with it. But this is not meant to be oh my God, I am so far behind and I should be doing all these different things. So let's look at the first one, right? Systems. It's not just a hustle, right? Like as we are going through this, you got your licenses, right? Which is a huge accomplishment. When we started thinking about even some statistics, like if you went through just online, completely online real estate school, I think one of the big things to keep in mind is nationwide, not real estate specific, but nationwide. I think it's like 30% pass rate. Like actually being able to get to the finish line from an online only school is like 30%. And then when we go through and we start thinking about the real estate exam has a 60% fail rate, right? So when you're coupling on, if you went through an online school, plus it has a 60% fail rate in Colorado, like this is a big milestone. And as we're going through, this is one of those careers where, the sky's the limit. But guess what? Like you're not just a real estate agent. You're not a W-2, and I think you guys all know that by now. Like you're a business owner. This is a small business, which actually has another statistic that goes with it. And it's like 87% of all small businesses fail in their first 3 years. And that's why this is an important conversation today, right? When we go through this and we're looking at how are we going to build a business, and guess what? Like in Colorado, not to be cliche, but like we are blessed, right? With the price point being where our price point is and the commissions that we are able to achieve inside of Colorado, like we can have a pretty good life, right? And when we're looking at this thing, this is where we see some agents screw up. Like they jump into social media with no plan and they're just running and gunning. They go through, they start prospecting, and they're not actually keeping track of all their people. Like I send out a text message, I do a phone call, I do an open house, and I just forget everything because the business didn't just fall in my lap from there. And they don't do the setup, right? It's like, oh, I'll figure that out later. And instead, like we're worried about what our business card looks like and all these other different things. So what should we be doing? Let's build a foundation, right? We start thinking about a pyramid and we're going to build the foundation first. We're going to create systems that support our success and we're going to show up organized. Because if we're organized, we're going to feel better about what we're doing, right? We're going to feel confident. And why this matters, it's going to save you time. It's going to lower your stress. It's going to build your credibility. And it's going to ultimately lead to longevity in this business, which is going to make you more money, which is the whole purpose of this. We're not the March of Dimes. Business equals money. Money's good for the good that money can do. And I want you guys all to make as much money as you possibly can. And this is just our starting point. So let's jump into this thing. The first one, we need a digital filing system. I was actually talking to someone the other day and they were asking me about like dropping off documentation to the office. And I'm thinking to myself, like, we don't really do that anymore. We don't truly have filing cabinets, right? Like you guys might have a filing cabinet at home. My wife does. Aaron has a filing cabinet. I have no clue what's in there. I'm not a filing cabinet person, right? So when we go through, let's create a digital filing cabinet. Because guess what? You guys all have on this call, you guys all have access to a Google Suite. And inside of your Google workstation, you guys have Google Drive. And your Google Drive has a ridiculous amount of storage that's associated with it. Astronomical amount. And I use mine. I fill mine up and I cannot get it to anywhere near to the finish line. So we're going to do the Google Drive. Like that's the big one that I think that is big. And so we go through, we have our presentations in it. We have marketing materials. We have transaction paperwork, right? We know that we have to have 4 years of all of our documentation. Well, I think most of it is safe inside of our CRM. Once the CRM is down, right? And that happens, right? products go down. And let's say that we're in a hurry, we're looking to get some documentation gathered. Let's have it live in two places. Let's have it live in a Google Drive, and then let's have it also live inside of our CRM. Then we're going to go through what are templates, scripts, guys. Like I love a Google Drive folder. And I know that sounds weird, but I have a lot of stuff in my Google Drive. I have spreadsheets of social media content that I like, so I can go reference it later, which I know sounds weird. I have websites, so as I'm going through and I'm looking at websites where I like some of the content, that's built out in there too. Like I just have hyperlinks in these Google Docs that I can just go to. It's in a folder for inspiration. I can actually open it up. I can actually go to the inspiration. I actually have it tabbed on like why I liked it, right? So I go back and reference it. And you give it specific names, it's going to avoid clutter. And you just have all these folders, right? So I have a folder for the school, I have a folder for the brokerage, I have a folder for my real estate business, right? We can create these PDFs, these Canva files, scripts, like all this can live in here, right? And like this is one of my actual folders. You can see my Google Drive, Absolute Home Group. I have my game plan from 2022 that still lives in there. I have all my logos uploaded in there. Social media calendar, right? So when I was going through and I was like, we're being very purposeful with what we post, that lives in there. Team members, right? The team members are in there and they have their own folders. And then like one of the win big with seminars, there was one of these things that we were looking how we were going to build it. And like that lives in here. Guess what? You want to share this information with someone? It's easy to share it. You copy the link and you fire it over to them. So you're not having to scramble and download it from anywhere. You literally just copy the link. I can copy the link either from a folder. I can copy the link from the document. I can do a subfolder. I can send out however I want to send. I can add collaborators. I can do all of this. And it lives right here. Anywhere in the world, I'm able to go through and access this information, and Google's rarely down, right? Is the largest search engine in the world is rarely down. And this is where I put this information. Guys, your database, right? Like we all look at this thing. This thing has applets. One of the applets on this thing is our phone. There's a phone applet. It doesn't matter if you have an Android or an Apple, you have a phone applet. And I think a lot of us look at this as our database. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but we need to make sure this is where it gets weird. We can obviously put name, we can put phone number, we can put the email, we can put their address, we can put their social media content or their social media platforms, their links. We can put their birthday, like all that lives in there. And that's great. But yet we're having conversations, we're building a business, we're doing these things where we are creating wow moments. And I think that's the biggest difference. As a business where we are front facing, we are in business with our consumers, with our clients. How do we create wow moments going forward? Pop buys. We are sending things to make them think that we are thinking about them, right? We are putting valuable information in their hands. Well, it's harder to do it from this alone, right? From my contacts app, yeah, there's a notes section. I guess I could take notes. Hey, did this, hey, did that. But yet I don't think that is what's native to this platform. And so that's where the CRM comes into play. And I get that that sounds overwhelming to a lot of people, right? Like, okay, so I have the CRM. Now it's feeling a little bit more robotic. My people will feel like me to send them a text message. But then how are we keeping track of all the other things that we are doing, the invites, and actually seeing it in a timeline to where we know that we have to do 36 to 72 touches per year to take massive mind share because we know that the market share follows. So we need to set up our database. And let's not go through and just dump all of our contacts. Because guess what? There's going to be contacts that you probably have the pizza place or the fast food or the whatever where you order food from. You don't need that in there. You don't need probably your old JOB's number in there. Only stuff, right? The ex girlfriend, the ex boyfriend, the ex whomever. You don't need those people in there. unless you're still in a great talking relationship and you think that they're going to be in the market to buy a house and you know that they are going to use you as their realtor. Let's clean up the database, right? Let's go through. And what the database is also going to do when we put it into the CRM is then we can use systems like DTD2 doing the database too, where every week it's actually telling us, hey, these are the letters that we should actually be jumping into to clean up the database and strategically and systematically feed it. Hey, just wanted to reach out to you. I was going through the people that matter in my world. And you know what I just noticed? That I actually don't have your home address. And some of the things that my clients like for me to do for them is to update them periodically on the value of their home. And I would love to do that for you as well. Right. And so we can actually go look into the CRM, see the things that we're missing, and then go and feed it and put that information in. And then we have the timeline of what's happening, right? Birthdays, neighborhoods, everything, personal details. Like this is the stuff that we should be adding to our database, right? So we have smart plans. We can map out the client's journey, right? Like we're going through, we can track it, the conversions, the touches. Guys, I don't know if you guys saw the email today, June 12th, like CTM just sent out an email about how they are going to enhance their software, and the photo looks almost just like Command. It's pretty wild how close to Command it looks. So ask the person that's in your world, right? Like what that workflow should look like, and let's match it to your style of doing business, right? Like let's stay flexible. Let's go through, let's pay attention to what is working and get rid of the stuff that we don't feel good about. This is what we do know. We are part of the largest real estate brokerage in the world. And with that, we have our proprietary software. We're one of 3 brokerages in the nation that has its own software. It's us, it's Redfin, and it's Compass. We are the only 3 brokerages in the nation that have its own CRM. And what that means is we have engineers that are working in the background. They're going through and they're finding best practices. They are doing things to help you guys win, to take more market share. And one of the things that they noticed is that when they were going through with the 201 contacts versus 200 or less, there is a huge discrepancy on the amount of money that agents are making, right? And so as we're looking at this thing, this is just a snapshot for one of the brokerages that is in our ecosystem. And this is their numbers. And these numbers are across the board pretty similar. So this brokerage, they have 128 agents that all had more than 201 contacts in their database. And this is what they saw. On average, those agents' gross commission income was $112,000. The agents that had less than 200, and that could be that could be 0 to 199. Those agents on average were making $33,000. The more people that we have in our database, the more opportunities that we have, the more at-bats that we will get, the more money you can make. And again, money's good for the good that money can do. We're not nonprofits. This is not the March of Dimes, right? So when we're getting systematic and strategic with our database, you will have more opportunity. Establish your brand basics, right? I think this one, like this is probably one of the more fun ones that we get to go through depending on who you are, if you're left-brained or right-brained, right? But as we're looking at this thing, like what does your headshot look like? And I don't think that you need to actually necessarily go out and spend a bunch of money on a professional headshot. They do look better. But at the end of the day, your phones do a pretty good job, right? Let's just get us into an environment that we want to be in, whether at Old Town on like the graffitied wall, or you want to be down in Denver or whatever, and whatever showcases your brand. Let's have someone go down with us, take some photos of us, right? There's plenty of editing software in like Canva to where we can actually go through and do background removers. We can enhance the photo. Like there's so many different things we can do, but let's just make sure that however you want to show up is what we're capturing, right? We're going to go through and then let's go and get a short bio, right? Feed Chat GPT. I know that Elizabeth goes through on your guys' onboardings with you, right? And Chat GPT should be your friend. If at Team Rally the other day, we had Andrea with Land Title that was talking about all the the AI's continuing education courses that are popping up everywhere, because that's just the future, guys. Let's embrace it, right? So let's go through, let's feed ChatGPT. Let's say, hey, help me craft a bio. I'm a real estate agent. These are my focus areas. These are the people that I like to help. This is a little bit about me. Give me an engaging bio. Awesome. Shorten it down to where it fits in Instagram. Awesome. Shorten it down to where it fits in Facebook. Awesome. Shorten it down to where it fits in TikTok, right? Like, then we just take it and we're putting it in the different places, LinkedIn, Command, right? Like, you're taking all of those bios and it's looking fairly similar all the way across all the platforms that represent you. Pick your combos, right? Your color combos, right? Like, pick 2 or 3 brands. If you want to stick with the KW colors, rock and roll, right? Pick 1 or 2 fonts that you want to live with, especially in Canva, guys. I don't know if you guys heard, but we have an exclusive partnership with Canva that's rolling out in Q3, right? We're bringing Canva into our ecosystem to where you guys are going to have the MLS plus Canva plus the marketing team working every day to give you as many templates as they possibly can. Now, if you go through and you say, these are my brand colors, these are the fonts that I like, then they roll out a new Canva template. You say, perfect, put my fonts and my colors in, and you're making it unique to you. Pull your headshot in, drop it in, background removed. Guys, like, this is how you start building the brand around you. Plus, now you're grabbing the stuff that Romy's creating. Guys, like, this gets pretty cool. And in your brand kit, you can upload your headshots, your colors, your logos. You can do everything. And this is kind of what it looks like, the brand kit, right? I have my logos in there, the brand colors. You pick what you want your heading font to be, your subheading font to be, your body font to be. Like, you pick it, you tell it, and it goes through and it shows you all of it. Like, play around, like, get what you want, and then this is your brand. All of your stuff, like, you're firing off, and this is how it looks. As your email layouts, right? I think your email layouts, we should be putting a little bit of focus into them, right? And here again, this is when I'm using ChatGPT. There's going to be some emails that you're going to continuously send out. What would it look like if we all got into the practice, right? And I say we all, there's only a handful of people on this call right now. I don't know who's going to watch it later on YouTube when Elizabeth sends it out. But yet, if when we're given this information, what's interesting is there's a lot of people that hold a lot of stuff close to the chest. And they're like, I'm not going to give out this info because someone's going to steal and they're going to steal my play. And this is what I think is cool about our ecosystem, is that we're going to willingly share everything, and we're going to give out as much information as possible. And whoever wants to run with it can run with it. But even as I say this, I know that maybe one person will run this play that I'm about to say. But what would it look like to when the vendor sponsors come through, right, on our coffee talks, on our team meetings, and we have this crafted email where, hey, thanks for your time the other day. Would love to sit down and have a conversation with you and just kind of like figure out how we can like synergize our businesses together, right? And then what if that was part of your game plan, to where you met with 2 vendors every month? They can be the vendors from Coffee Talk, they can be the vendors from the team meeting. We're sitting down with them, we're figuring out a little bit about their stuff, we're figuring out what kind of collateral that they have that maybe I can take and throw out on my social media. I might be able to actually get on a Zoom meeting and just do a quick recording of them, of me and them talking, having some conversations on how they can help my clients, right? It's a pre-scripted whatever. And then we're going through, and that's just an email, and all that was able to come to fruition because I just made it part of my regiment, to where I followed up, I thanked them for their time, and I asked them for coffee, I asked them to go meet for lunch, I asked them, hey, can we just have a quick Zoom meeting to where I can learn a little bit more about your business? And then what we can do is we can take it and we put it out on social media, and now we have more content. And it's not just me having to figure out what I need to say. I'm actually letting the expert, like the other day, the roofing guy that came in, right? And we can go through and we can have the roofing guy talk about what makes his business different and help how he can help our clients. And then maybe we can figure out how he could give us a free roof cert or whatever. Like, all they have to do is mention that, hey, I'm a client, or I am a client of Charles. Make sure you let them know that, and you'll get 10% off your next whatever. And we go through, we just create these email templates, right? It stays consistent. It can help people, it feels better, right? This is how we build trust. We can get referrals out of this. And guys, like, you can go through, right? These three dots. There's this template button. Again, ChatGPT's your friend. There's going to be certain templates that you send all of the time. So what are we doing to where we go through, we craft a couple of templates. I do like the vendor template. I would run with it to where we're firing this thing off. We just changed the name. Maybe we have a Calendly link set up to where they just pick the time. I don't even need to set up the date. Like, hey, here's my calendar. I know this is a little bit simpler to kind of like coordinate every once in a while. Instead, we go back and forth, find a time. You even put the address in there. So if you want to just meet at a certain coffee shop, you actually put the coffee shop in. You want to meet at the brokerage, put the brokerage in. Guys, like, this thing, we can do so many cool things with these templates, right? You just you put a client under contract, right? And then you just lay out what the timeline typically looks like. Hey, earnest money needs to be dropped off. Yes, it could be a personal check. Um, we're going to go through. Here's the inspection companies that I recommend, right? Like, all of these things can be templates. Get off the phone with your client. Yeah, hey, I'm going to send you an email real quick. Just so some of the timeline, it's in no particular order, but these are the things that we're going to be experiencing over the next couple days. Template, fire it off. Guys, like, there's a lot of power in this set it and forget it kind of stuff. Guys, you know how I feel about social media? Like, I think that social media, if it's in your wheelhouse and it's something that you want to do, then we should be doing it. Now, why I preface it this way is because of this. If social media takes away from your psyche, if it frustrates you, if it ruins your day, whatever, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, there's other ways to build the business that we can focus on to build monsters businesses. You know what? We know that sphere of influence is number one. We know that open houses is number two. And we do know that social media is somewhere in a third bucket of online. And yet we know that the first two are way bigger than that giant bucket of a lot of online stuff. But we should be using social media, in my mind, only because it's going to reinforce that we're human, that we have a real estate business to the people that are already in our ecosystem. So I want to show some of the behind the scenes stuff, right? We go through what are some of our wins, some of the challenges that we're running into, right? Like, how we're doing to grow the business, like, just stuff, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, let's not get too crazy about it. Let's just go through. Let's build trust, right? This is trust. It's transparency. We're relatable. We're real people. Yes, I'm a real estate agent, but do not rank me with a used car salesman. I am your people. This is what my world looks like. Let's take a look at it, right? We're going to turn our followers into future clients doing this. I'm touring some homes. Here I am at a meeting, right? Here I'm talking to my mentor. Here's how I'm setting up my systems, my office, right? Maybe it's a screenshot of your website, right? Maybe it's you scrolling through your website. Hey, check out my website, all these cool features that I have, right? You're showing your marketing material, any of this stuff, right? Like, you're going through, you're getting relatable. You're showing your brand. Here's the thing. Yes, in the state of Colorado requires that you fly the DBA, the logo. They want to make sure that if you screw up, they know where to send the audit. But at the end of the day, we know that you are your brand. So let's get out there, right? How can we put these mini commercials out there? We know that people are on this thing, they're scrolling. I saw something the other day, I don't know how real it is, but they were like, the average person scrolls the equivalent of the Empire State Building every day. And I'm like, gross. It is disgusting, right? And I don't know if there's like super users out there doing that, or like what this looks like. But with that being said, how can we make sure that as they're mindlessly scrolling, they see something from us, and hopefully we take some mind share, because we know the market share follows. Today, like, I'm sitting and I'm creating this content, and I'm like, you know what? This is a perfect behind the scenes moment. Like, this is literally from today. I literally screenshot this story from today and threw it in this presentation. And like, this is what my mornings look like. And I go through, I have my morning routine. And then a piece of my morning routine is I record some content. I put together the script, I shoot the content, I threw it through my editing apps and everything. I download it, and then we're off to the races, right? And so like I put this story out there. It's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. I added it as a highlight so it will live for forever. And guess what, guys? It's 19 seconds long. It's not super exciting, but guess what? People are seeing it, right? They saw there's a bit of me recording the content, there's a bit of me editing it and downloading it. Like, we don't need to overcomplicate this. Like, this is easy stuff that we could be doing. This is the one that I think scares a lot of people. And I think it's one of the most important things. Like, if you guys have been in any rooms with me where we've gotten, a little bit more vulnerable, like my biggest fear is ending up being a Walmart greeter. And there's nothing wrong with Walmart greeters, right? I just don't want to be having to work for the rest of my life. And that's truly what I mean by that statement, right? Because I mean, I have worked for, the big box department store with the big orange logo for home improvement. Like, that was my first big corporate job, right? And I was an operations manager there. So I don't see anything wrong with actually having those jobs. I just want to be able to make sure that I am leveling up and that I am setting myself up for success down the road. And I think that starts with just managing and tracking your finances, right? To where we're going through, we need to know if we're actually profitable with what we're doing. We need to be tracking our ROI. That's one of the things that we make sure that we massively do in the brokerage, right? We go through, and every year we set a budget. We determine what we think that return on investment on that budget is going to be. Halfway through the year, we go through and we're removing stuff, but on a monthly basis, we're actually looking at every line item. Were we in budget? Where did the money go? How did we spend it, and what did the ROI look on it? And then we make adjustments. We say, okay, halfway through the year, we say, are we going to continue? Are we going to ramp up? We're going to ramp down. What are we doing? And every year we do this at a brokerage level. I do it at my house. We go through, we look at, okay, do we have to put anything on credit cards? Why? Why did we do that? Where did that come from? So you're looking at your credit card stuff, you're looking at your bank balances, you're looking at your 401ks, you're looking at your stocks, you're looking at quick snapshot if you own real estate. Like, I don't think you need to do a CMA, but just like pick a platform, maybe it's Zillow, and every month you're tracking on what your Zestimate is. And while we know that's not super accurate, what I do know is that they're using their same formula every time. And so I'm going to be able to track if it's gone up or gone down based off of whatever their formula looks like. So it's going to give me a quick snapshot of it, whether it's 100% accurate or not. Who cares for this concept, right? So I'm going through and I'm tracking everything. I'm doing my net worth tracker every month, as well as my P&L and everything else going on. We need to look at what our income looks like. We need to look at our expenses. I think like we've gotten away from the ledger inside of the checkbook, right? And some of you were like, I don't even know what that is. But right where we're going, and some of you were like, I remember those days and I'm glad they're gone. And some of you were like, those days are still in my life. I still do that exercise, right? And it doesn't matter where you are, but in that ledger exercise, you would actually track, cool, I put money into my bank account, I remove money, and you are physically touching this ledger hopefully weekly, if not daily, right? To where you were going through and you were just tracking. Then they put it on the phone and you could actually listen to all your transactions and you were writing it down. Now it's just on the computer. And yet I think that's the trap that we get into, because now we have this thing called a credit card, right? And we have some of the highest debt that we've ever had as a nation right now as a consumer. And it's because we put it on the credit card and they float us money and we just have to make the minimum payment. As long as we're making the minimum payment, we can go on for forever. And that is a trap. So there's one thing that we could be doing though, is like tracking our mileage for our CPA, right? If you have a CPA, this is this Hurdler app. It's designed for real estate agents, right? It's for mileage, it's income, it's expensive. If you want to play with it, rock and roll. It's mobile friendly. Also, here's this one. Like, this is a net worth tracker. There's the QR barcode if you guys want to grab it and look at it and play with it, right? But you have your overview, your assets, your debits, your progress. It tells you what your net worth is looking like. Like, guys, gamify this thing. Have fun with it, right? If anyone's doing anything with like a fitness tracker or a calorie tracker, right? They go through, they pop up, they're like, hey, you haven't logged anything today. Hey, don't ruin your streak. Like, make it fun to be leveling this thing up. And I would say that flat is okay for a little bit. You just don't want to be going negative. Like, and how do we keep leveling up? How do I keep adding and stacking and just getting better and better? Right? Like, we should be making this a game and gamifying our net worth. All right, back to content, right? Like, when we're looking at content, guys, I think this is the thing. Like, as we're going through, you don't need to post daily. I am on a mission, me personally, where Monday through Friday, I'm posting a reel. Sometimes there's a little bit extra, but I am on that mission where I am curious. I'm watching things and the success from it, which has been kind of fun, right? You gamify it again, where we're going through and what you know that you actually put goals behind and what you focus on expands. And so as we're going through, let's have a content strategy so we don't lose momentum. My content strategy really is, it involves Chat GPT, it involves the Captions app, it involves Instagram, right? And it just, like, that's what it looks like. And it's me sitting down. It's one of my daily routines, and I go through and I just execute. So create what your content calendar looks like, guys. And guess what? ChatGPT can help you do this too. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. This is what I want to focus on. Give me a content creation calendar where I'm just doing these three things 3 times a week, right? And it'll create it for you. It'll tell you what to do. It'll give you ideas. You can ask it to brainstorm for you, right? You can do all of these different pieces. If you want to go 5 days a week, go 5 days a week. If you want to go seven, do seven. But here's the thing, go baby steps. If you're posting randomly right now, don't try to go seven. I would say don't even go five, right? Without some kind of game plan in front of you. Like, tell it what you want help doing, know what your schedule looks like, know what your commitment to this really is. Because here's the thing, if you're like, I'm not super excited about social media, I do know that I should maybe do it. Well, then go like 2, 3 times, because 2, 3 times is probably way better, way bigger than what you're already doing, and it will have a bigger impact. Don't burn yourself out doing this, right? So, personal updates, right? Guys, here's the thing. Like, I can tell you that I posted I was going on my 3-day fast. You would be shocked. Maybe not, but you would be shocked with how many people slid into my DMs that were asking me, like, why in the world are you doing that? I just did a 3-day fast. People cheering me on, like, all this stuff was happening. So, like, it's simple stuff where you're going through and you're doing this. Local insights of businesses, market updates, right? Like, we just put up that slide the other day about concessions. $8,800 is the average concession for May in the Colorado area. Would that be interesting to put out there? Hey, did you know that sellers were writing $8,800 checks to buyers to purchase their house? If you're interested in learning more, send me a DM. Like, it's simple stuff, right? Behind the scenes, like, what are you doing? Just walking into the office, driving into the office, right? We're going through, walking into an open house, walking in, doing my CE credits, right? Like, just simple stuff. And when we're winning with clients, let's tell the small story. I don't, guys, there's nothing wrong with this, but let's kind of get away with it, get away from it, not away with it. Let's get away from it. Let's not say, hey, super excited for my client. Here's the picture of them holding a sign, payday, right? Because that's all I see when I see that stuff. Like, let's tell the story. Hey, we were looking for X amount of time. We toured X amount of homes. We wrote X amount of offers. Hey, this is what their situation looked like. Get permission from them, but, like, let's tell a story. Then let's make sure that we're tagging them on the story, right? So that their people actually see me, my people see them. We're cross-pollinating again. We're creating raving fans. Let's go consistency over perfection, guys. Let's just start doing it. Let's be authentic. Like, you don't need to be polished. You guys can go back and look through my social media and you can see that there was times where I was just winging it. I'd put up the news article, I would do the green screen feature. I'd be just talking and just winging it. And it would have the countdown. It was letting me know, because that's what Instagram would do, is it would tell you how long you had until your 1 minute. And I was just hitting videos. I was tripping over my words. I was slurring my words a little bit, right? Like you were stuttering a little bit, right? Like, because you're just trying to get through it. And here's the thing, they got super good traction, right? Like as we're going through and getting views on it, and we're just going to connect, right? Like this is what we're going to do. And this is just from my Instagram, right? Like you can actually see, like, this is some of the things from the brokerage and having the interviews with some of our agents. We're going in. I'm talking about the school. I am talking about real estate. I am talking about brokerages. And guys, I did put this out because I just want to show you guys what this looks like. Like literally, Chat GPT, me and Skynet. I'm going through, I'm saying, hey, let's take one of these, the top three things that I look for when hire an agent, and I just gave it. I'm like, these are the three things. And then it says, awesome. Here's your 60-second script, Charles. And this is what it looked like, right? And this is what I'm just going through and I'm reading. This is one of these videos. I don't know where it is in here, but this is one of them. It's probably this one that only got 32 views. Now this is my other thing, right? But like when we're going through, guys, we overcomplicate this thing. There's tools, they're free, and let's use them to execute. Because as we're kind of wrapping this thing up, right? I think that as we're going in, we need to be organized, whatever that looks like. And here's the thing, if you're not a calendar user, I'm not saying just like social media, go out and go gangbusters on it, but figure out what the one day a week that you can get organized and you can do one of these things. We can go through and let's just put some structure. What and when am I doing this thing? And again, if this isn't in your wheelhouse now, don't try to throw it all at once because you're not going to do it. This is how you start to trip and stumble, and then you feel like you failed, and then you say, well, it's not worth it. Maybe in 2026, I'll jump in. And that's the trap, right? Let's start small to go big, right? Let's start getting incremental wins like an avalanche, right? Where we start with the snowflake and then it's just compounding and getting bigger and bigger. Like same thing with all this. So hopefully there was one slide, right? Pick your one slide, whether it's social media, whether it's your CRM, whatever. Maybe you're going to go out and you're actually going to start your catch file. You're going to go through, you're going to start setting up your Canva, right? Pick one of these, put it on your time block. Don't just go jump in it today. Put on your time block. Is it going to be Friday? Is it going to be Monday of next week, right? Whatever that may look like, put it in your calendar and start making the baby steps to start leveling up.